Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the Srimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 28. Kapila's instructions on devotional service. Text 37 and 38. Deham chitam sa charma stitam utitam va siddho vipasyati yato jagamat svarupam daivat upetam artadaiva vasadapetam vaso yata parikritam madira mandanada. Because he has achieved his real identity, the perfectly realized soul has no conception of how the material body is moving or acting, just as an intoxicated person cannot understand whether or not he has clothing on his body. Purport. This stage of life is explained by Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. A person whose mind is completely dovetailed with the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and who engages 100% in the service of the Lord forgets his material body. Text 38. Because we're going to speak about the biographical information of the personalities who have appeared today, and in the case of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, disappeared on this Vishan Panchami day. To save time, I will just read and continue reading for the entire verse and purport myself. Deho pidaiva vasarga kalu karma yavat svarambakam pratisamikshata eva sasu tam cha prapancham adiruda samadhi yoga svapnam punarcha bhajate pratibuddha vastu. The body of such a liberated yogi, along with the senses, is taken charge of by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and its functions until its destined activities are finished. The liberated devotee, being awake to his constitutional position, and thus situated in samadhi, the highest perfectional stage of yoga, does not accept the byproducts of the material body as his own. Thus he considers his bodily activities to be like the activities of a body in a dream. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The following questions may be posed. As long as the liberated soul is in contact with the body, why doesn't the bodily activities affect him? Doesn't he actually become contaminated by the action and reaction of material activities? In answer to such questions, this verse explains that the material body of a liberated soul is taken charge of by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not acting due to the living force of the living entity. It is simply acting as a reaction to past activities. Even after being switched off, an electric fan moves for some time. That movement is not due to the electric current, but it is a continuation of the last movement. Similarly, although a liberated soul appears to be acting just like an ordinary man, his actions are to be accepted as the continuation of past activities. In a dream, one may see himself expanded through many bodies, but when awake, he can understand that these bodies were all false. Similarly, although a liberated soul has the byproducts of the body, children, wife, house, etc., he does not identify himself with those bodily expansions. He knows that they are all products of the material dream. The gross body is made of the gross elements of matter, and the subtle body is made of mind, intelligence, ego, and contaminated consciousness. If one can accept the subtle body of a dream as false and not identify oneself with that body, then certainly an awake person need not identify with the gross body. As one who is awake has no connection with the activities of the body in a dream, an awakened, liberated soul has no connection with the activities of the present body. In other words, because he is acquainted with his constitutional position, he never accepts the bodily concept of life. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurlamitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishnam Snapidam Dena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sva Vananti Ham Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagujatam Sagana Ragana Tanvidam Nam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bando Jagatpate Kopisha Kopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Divyadvindaranya Kalpajumada Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanasdo Srimad Radha Shilagovinda Devo Prastalabi Sevyamanu Smarami Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpatarubhyas cha Kripasindubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskita Deshatarane. So Kapila Dev, after describing the meditation on the form of the Lord, from his lotus feet to his smiling face, goes on to describe the symptoms of the pure devotee in his ecstasy, his samadhi, his ecstatic absorption in loving devotional service on the form of the personality of Godhead. So in these verses here, it's a description of how the devotee, the yogi, the devotional yogi, is detached from this material body, and as Prabhupada is describing at length with examples in the second purport that we've read, how simultaneously one is completely liberated from the material influences of the body that one is inhabiting, and at the same time one is utilizing that material body in a very, very precise and exact way to fulfill the desires of the Lord, to give the Lord topmost pleasure, in such a way that one is completely absolved and aloof from any implication in karma and the modes of material nature. A proper term is jivan mukta, one who is liberated even in this body, in this life. One of the wonderful allures or an invitation that Srila Prabhupada would give in his presentation of Krishna consciousness devotional service was that you do not have to wait for a change of body, for a change of situation. Lord Chaitanya, it doesn't matter whether one is a householder, a sannyasi, a brahmin, a kshatriya, whatever class, caste, or division of life one's in. One simply has to hear and chant the glories of the Lord, and one's position immediately becomes transcendental. Prabhupada makes the point in the purport he does not accept. Similarly, although a liberated soul has the byproducts of the body, children, wife, house, etc., he does not identify himself with those bodily expansions. He knows that they are all products of the material dream. So, Srila Prabhupada himself, coming from the classic Vedic system, he was guided by his father. His mother had passed away, to accept marriage at the proper time in his life. In that case, how old was he? 20 or 22 years old. His wife was, I don't remember the exact age, but just barely a teenager at the time. So it wasn't like we see in Kali Yuga here in the West, where people come together out of uncontrolled lustful propensities or mixed in with excuse me, ignorance of the actual position of the self, no understanding of the duty of human form of life. So when Lord Chaitanya says it doesn't matter whether one is a householder living at home or a sannyasi living in the forest, if he's crying the name of Gauranga, he is transcendental, and I want his association. So we see also in the lives of great Mahabhagavat personalities like Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji, for example, he was a householder earlier in his life. I believe his wife died very young, and then he just manifested his actual position as a completely transcendental personality. So for us, we have to be, in our background, in our situation, we have to be a little bit more cautious or humble to apply this principle, or to think that we qualify for this, what's being described here, or this liberty, so easily. So Srila Prabhupada has given us the powerful process of Krishna consciousness, devotional service and practice, sadhana bhakti, which under his authority and under his protection, Krishna, and what to speak of all other important personalities in charge of this cosmic manifestation, and all great devotees and saintly persons, wherever they are situated, will accept us. And at the same time, that devotional service and practice, which will lead to perfection under the guidance of such a personality as Srila Prabhupada, I have created your good fortune, is being done in the mood of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada's mood, his overwhelming mood, is one of giving Krishna consciousness to others. So he is teaching us that our devotional service and practice, the most powerful form of devotional service, which will lift us above the karma of our previous conditioning, physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually. And as the purport concludes here, in other words, because he is acquainted with his constitutional position, he never, or we can say, we won't accept, again, the bodily concept of life. We were hearing in the reading on Preaching is the Essence the other day, in Madhya Lila chapter 7, the Lord's tour of South India, how he met the leper Brahmana named Vasudev. He was suffering terribly by the disease, and he very much wanted to meet Lord Chaitanya. And when he came to the place where Lord Chaitanya had just been, he had left moments ago, he fainted and fell to the ground. And miraculously, right at that moment, Lord Chaitanya came back and embraced him. And upon embracing him, his leprosy, miraculously that everyone can see, and equally, if not more importantly, all his unhappiness disappeared. And what was Vasudev's immediate reaction of not only being cured, but being turned into the most beautifully elegant and handsome man? That I do not become proud. And Lord Chaitanya's answer or solution for him to never become proud was that he should incessantly chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But more than that is that he should give Krishna consciousness to others. And Prabhupada was saying that Vasudev Brahman, as a leper, had suffered greatly. And when cured and elevated to the transcendental position by Lord Chaitanya, the Lord only requested one thing for him in, so to speak, repayment or in exchange, is that he give Krishna consciousness to others. And Srila Prabhupada related that to his own disciples, that similarly, every member of this International Society of Krishna Consciousness was rescued from a very abominable situation. So, abominable situation, we could gradiate it, like materially living in the street, filthy, dirty, crazy, intoxicated, mode of ignorance. But from the view of the transcendental personality, the pure devotee of Lord Chaitanya, everyone who is bereft of the knowledge of one's eternal relationship with Krishna, and by that the knowledge of how to act and what to do in all circumstances, they're all equally wretched and suffering in an abominable situation. And in some cases, the people who have so much, as Queen Kunti describes in the first canto, 8th chapter, bewildered by aristocratic placement in human society, good looks, good intelligence, riches, they become excessively proud and puffed up, and they cannot approach the Lord and express their heart with actual feeling. We see every day people thinking that they're so nicely endowed or situated. They look down upon the devotees of the Lord. They don't understand the value of devotional service. They don't understand the value of the holy name. They don't understand the urgency to understand what is the goal of life. So such persons are actually the most wretched and in the most abominable situation. And by the mercy of the Lord in his compassionate form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Panchatattva, they benedict such foolish and unfortunate persons with the Sankirtan movement and the holy name, which in a sense, just like the rising tide in the harbor raises all boats, so the rising tide of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement and Benediction Moon, whether they know it or not, or even whether they like it or not, going against their material desire, which is actually a false desire. The so-called feeling of sense pleasure is the actual enemy of the conditioned soul. We were hearing in previous verses here in our third canto study how it's seemingly material happiness, but it's all distress because it is the external energy influencing you to think thoughts and have desires which have nothing to do with your real self. So it is very distressful. Just like if you were brainwashed to do something, become like a AI robot or something and kill people or just do crazy things. This is not you. So we take very seriously this gift of Srila Prabhupada, and we try our level best to mold our life in such a way that we can be instrumental in his hands to effect the ultimate outcome of what is predicted and destined to be true, the glorious movement of Lord Chaitanya to become the golden age on this planet and this universe for 10,000 years to come. Hare Krishna. So this is a very, very special day. Vashant Panchami is taken to be the first day of spring in Vrindavan and in India in general. It is the beginning of the holy season, which culminates ultimately in the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, Gaur Purnim, and it is the appearance day of many great personalities. Srimati Vishnupriya Devi, the second wife of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who ultimately bore his separation till the age of 96. Lord Chaitanya, if I'm correct, if my memory serves, he took sannyas and she was only 16 years old. So, and then when Lord Chaitanya disappeared 24 years later, she bore the separation all the way till the age of 96. So there is a nice description of her biography. The Supreme Lord has three different internal energies, potencies, Shri, Bhu, and Nila. Bhu Shakti as Srimati Vishnupriya Devi in Lord Chaitanya's Leela to assist the Sankirtan movement. King Satyajit, the father of Satyabhama in Krishna Leela, appeared in Gauranga Leela as the Brahmin Sanatan Mishra, Vishnupriya Devi's father. Srimati Vishnupriya overflowed with all good qualities. Her beauty surpassed the goddess of fortune. She was devoted to her parents and dutifully followed scriptural injunctions. Regularly she worshipped Tulsi Devi and observed vows of austerity, such as bathing thrice daily in the Ganges. Whenever she met Sachi Mata at the Ganges, Vishnupriya would humbly bow down at her feet. Sachi Devi often thought that chaste, beautiful Vishnupriya would make an ideal bride for her son Nimai. After Lakshmi Priya Devi, Lord Chaitanya's first wife, died in separation from the Lord, Nimai Pandit married Srimati Vishnupriya Devi. Chaitanya Mangala and Chaitanya Bhagavat give elaborate descriptions of this most auspicious wedding. Buddhimanta Khan, a rich landowner, bore all expenses of the opulent royal wedding of the divine couple, Vishnupriya and Sri Nimai Pandit. All the people of Navadvip and the neighboring villages came to the wedding. During the ceremony, all eyes were on the divine couple as if to devour the matchless beauty of Vishnupriya and Nimai Pandit. The last conversation Lord Chaitanya had with Vishnupriya the night before he took sannyas. Quote, in a voice choked with emotion, Vishnupriya said, tell me, O Lord of my life, is it true the rumor I heard that you will take sannyas and leave me? If I lose your association, I might as well end my life by drinking poison. Responding with gentle, compassionate words, Lord Chaitanya said, Vishnupriya, you are as dear to me as life itself. There is no need to worry. Please hear what I am about to say, for it will help you. The only truth in this world is Bhagavan and the Vaishnavas. Everything else is illusion. Fathers, mothers, children, relationships between men and women are all illusory. Krishna is the master, the real husband of everyone. Don't lament. Don't worry. Your name's Vishnupriya. Your name is Vishnupriya. Therefore, fulfill the real meaning of Vishnupriya and always think of Krishna within your heart. Then Sri Gaur Sundar showed his four-armed form, which helped Vishnupriya understand his absolute position. Seeing this vanquished Vishnupriya's grief and pain. She felt blissful. This vision and Mahaprabhu's instructions removed her bewilderment. But she kept the mentality of taking the Lord as her husband. After Sri Nimai Pandit left Navadvip, Vishnupriya adopted an austere and devoted life. She became as thin as the crescent moon. Following a rigid sadhana, she set aside 1 grain of rice for every round of Hare Krishna japa she chanted. In the evening, Vishnupriya Devi cooked these grains, offered them to her personal deity of Mahaprabhu, and honored the remnants. So those who have gone to Mayapur and gone to Navadvip city, there is Vishnupriya's personal deity, Dameshvar Mahaprabhu. And that temple is very, very old and is a very vibrant and central location for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas of Navadvip. And there's always very wonderful kirtan there for this beautiful deity, Vishnupriya, Dharmeshvar Mahaprabhu. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Because he revealed the path of devotion, he is considered to be identical with the Lord of the universe, Vishwanath. And because he was predominant in the circle of Vaishnavas, he held the title Chakravarti. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote songs under the pen name of Hari Vallabha Das. This is a lengthy biography. The following is a list of the books written by Vishwanath Chakravarti. Braj Riti Chintamani. This is a one-volume book which gives a very elaborate range of all various Leela places in Vrindavan and corresponding descriptions of all of the devotees of Lord Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan in relationship to these places and their pastimes. Chatmakar Chandrika, which is translated as Moonbeams of Sheer Astonishment, 4 stories about basically how Krishna, Radha and Krishna, they trick their Radharani's so-called in-laws in various ways to gain each other's association. Very, very famous. Prema Samputa, Krishna disguising himself as a demigoddess, is placing Srimati Radharani in such a way to reveal to the secretly disguised Krishna, her actual topmost feelings in love for him. Gitavali, commentary to Alankar Kastuba, Ananda Chandrika commentary to Ujjvala Nilamani. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is known to be a ray of, or is described as a ray of Rupa Goswami, or coming to deepen the understanding of what Srila Rupa Goswami has given, thus giving amplified understanding to what it means to actually be a Rupanuga. 7. A commentary on Gopal Tapani Upanishad, and one of the most important Astakalya Leela books, or books describing the activities, the eightfold time periods of the day of Radha and Krishna and their associates in Goloka Vrindavan. Sri Krishna Bhavanamrita Mahakavya. This book, along with Sri Govinda Leela Amrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, are the 2 most famous books in this regard. Also famous is by Kavi Karnapur, Ananda Vrindavan Champu. Sri Bhāgavatam Rita Kana, Ujjvala Nilamani Kirana Leha, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. Ragvartma Chandrika. This is an important book which reveals the glories of chanting the Gayatri mantra, particularly the last or 7th verse, the Kama Gayatri mantra. Aishvarya Kandambini, which appears to have been lost, and very, very famous, Madhurya Kadambini. Bhakti Sara Pradarshini, a commentary on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Ananda Chandrika, a commentary on Ujjvala Nilamani, all books of Rupa Goswami. 17, a commentary on the Danakeli Kamudi. That is the toll pastime at Govardhan. 18, a commentary on Lalita Madhava, Rupa Goswami's important drama. 19, an incomplete commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita, a commentary on the Brahma Samhita, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad, and this has been published in English. Sarta Darshani, a commentary on the Srimad Bhāgavatam, particularly 10th canto, and many other writings. And his chief disciple was Baladev Vidyabhushan, who Srila Prabhupada dedicated the Bhagavad Gita to, who presented so nicely his Govinda Bhasya, which established the worship of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas and their worship of Govinda as completely authorized, bona fide. He established the worship of one of the 7 principal deities of Vrindavan, Shri Radha Gokulananda, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur left this world in Radha Kund in 1708 AD. On this day, Krishna Panchami Shukla, 5th day of the waxing moon of the month of Magh. Pundarik Vidyanidhi is described in detail in the biographies of Lord Chaitanya, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagava, Chaitanya Mangala. So we've practically run out of time. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, the third big branch, was so dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that in his absence, Lord Chaitanya himself would sometimes cry. In the Gaura Gonadesh Deepika, Srila Pundarik Vidyanidhi is described as the father of Srimati Radharani in Krishna Lila. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore treated him as his father. Pundarik Vidyanidhi's father was known as Baneshvar, or according to another opinion, Shuklambar Brahmachari, and his mother's name was Gangadevi. So, the village where he was born, the family that he was born into, a respectable family. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati informs us that one of the members of this family is living in Vrindavan and is named Sarojananda Goswami. One special characteristic of this family is that each of its members had only one son or no son at all, and therefore the family was not very expansive. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Pundarik Vidyanidhi father, and he gave him the title Premanidhi. Pundarik Vidyanidhi later became the spiritual master of Gadadhar Pandit and an intimate friend of Swarup Damodar's. Gadadhar Pandit at first misunderstood Pundarik Vidyanidhi to be an ordinary pounds and shillings man, but later, upon being corrected by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became his disciple. And the pastime of Odan Shasti, when Pundarik Vidyanidhi saw that the Pujari had given Lord Jagannath a winter garment, but it was still with starch in it, he became somewhat upset mentally within his mind. And Lord Jagannath and Lord Balaram came and slapped him for this discrepancy, and he actually had a swollen cheeks because of this. Raghunandan Thakur. Sri Mukundadas, Madhavadas, and Narhari Sakar were three brothers who lived in Srikhanda. They were kirtan singers in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan party. Sri Mukundadas Thakur's son was Sri Raghunandan Thakur. Sri Raghunandan Thakur information in Gaura Gonadesh Deepika, according to certain authorities, was Kandarpa Manjari. According to others, he was one of Krishna's sons in Dwarka, whose name was Kandarpa. This is on the basis of Gaura Gonadesh Deepika. So there are other leelas associated with him that can be read and looked at today. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the important 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, made his appearance on this day. He is known as the Vairagya Acharya, or the Acharya personifying renunciation and detachment. And his ascendancy to the topmost position in the inner circle of Lord Chaitanya under the direction and authority of Swarup Damodar Goswami, as described in length in the Antya-lila of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Also, this day is the day when Mother Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom and learning, is worshipped. In regards to the defeat by Lord Chaitanya, as young Nimai Pandit of the Keshava Kashmiri, the very victorious debating Pandit, who gave all credit to Mother Saraswati as his worshipful goddess, it is revealed in this chapter that she is actually the servant of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and ultimately directed and revealed to this Digvijay Pandit that he should surrender to Lord Chaitanya, of which he had the proper humility and intelligence to do so, and was accepted by Lord Chaitanya after his humble conversion. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Space from our